Everybody seated, everybody comfortable. All right, what I'd like to do at this time is have you all take a look at the screens to see what's about to happen.
And now, our past Tri-Citians of the Year. (1970) Dr. Larry Olson. 1980, Glenn Lee. 1981, Mary Gallant and Ed Hendler. 1982, Dean Mitchell. 1983, Gene Spalding. 1984, Greg Adams. 1985, Bob Young. 1986, Ernie Boston. 1987, Coke Roth. 1988, Lane Bray. 1989, Dr. William Wiley. 1990, Kelso Gillenwater. 1991, Bud Daisy. 1992, Neil, Billy Jane, and Bill Lampson. 1993, Dr. Al Corrado. 1994, George Grant. 1995, John Goldsberry. 1996, Jack Briggs. 1997, George Jones. 1998, Dean Strawn. 1999, Ray Robinson. 2000, John Nolan. 2001, Fran Forget. 2002, Red Rutherford. 2003, Sandy Matheson. 2004, Dr. Louis Zirkle and Dr. Sarah Zirkle. 2005, Calvin Dudney. 2006, Frank Armio. 2007, George Garlick. 2008, Mike Schwenk. 2009, Ken Hohenberg. 2010, John Umbarger. 2011, Skip Novakovich. 2012, Ron Huey. 2013, Alan Brecky. Now, does anybody know who the current Tri-Citian of the Year is? No! It's me, Craig Eerkes. Now, for all you other boys and girls, please help me welcome our Master of Ceremonies, past Tri-Citian of the Year, Fran Forget.
How about a round of applause for that great little video introduction and our 2014 Tri-Citian of the Year. It's my pleasure to serve as your host here tonight for what I think is going to be a very memorable occasion for all of us, and certainly for one particular person or two or a group. They always have in this intro each year, and I do this once every 12 years, they have this reference to a group. And I was thinking about that, and other than the Lampsons and the Zirkles, I think the last group was a group of GE executives or some other Hanford company back in the 60s or something. But yes, we don't know who it's going to be, and that's kind of the fun of this evening. But I want to take a moment before I get into that and I go into the what I call the valley of introductions and applause, and just take a moment to celebrate what a great time this is to live here in the Tri-Cities. Things big and small are just going surprisingly well. Look outside today. Look at that weather. Here in the 4 Tri-Cities, we have yet another beautiful sunny day, one of our 400 average days of sunshine every year. And do we take that for granted? No, we don't. We applaud for that. But there are other bigger things as well. We have the new Wine Science Center being finished right now. The opening will be early June out at WSU Tri-Cities. It's going to be a huge scientific and education facility here in our community. It's the epicenter of higher ed when it comes to everything wine. So, as you have your glass of wine tonight, think about WSU, think about the Wine Science Center, and we need to support that as it goes forward. The other thing going on right now is the new national park. part of the Manhattan Project celebration in multiple states. And one of the primary sites will be right here. It's been approved. Park Service has been out here. Various other people have toured the area, making plans right now. That's going to be a huge thing for tourism in our community, and of course for us, the folks who actually live here. There's also the access to Red Mountain that has been an issue for some time, and that was approved just this year, thanks to our supporters and representatives in Congress, both the House and the Senate, and local organizations like Tri-Citian and many others. And then one of my pet projects is the megasite project that has been approved for DOE to transfer what will be one of only 2 megasites in the state of Washington currently. A megasite is something 1,000 acres or more, suitable for development for large manufacturing or other commercial purposes. The only one we have right now in the state of Washington is across the river in Walla Walla County by the Rail-X facility. There's one there. There's not another one like it. Well, come August, if this legislation goes the way it's been written, there will be another one out here at Hanford, the first one. Some 1,350 acres be transferred to the community for economic development. That's the first one. There is another 50 square miles out there of property that is clean, is ready for transfer for economic development to the community. And so I'm going to leave it to one of the scientists, perhaps the current director of the lab or the former director of the national lab, to calculate how many 1,000-acre megasites there would be in a 50 square mile site. It's more than 12. So, are you? No one laughs. Are there any math majors in this group? Okay, let's go into the valley of introductions and applause. And many of you will remember the dark days, this last recession, 2008, 2009. There were times there we just didn't have the budget for applause. We were relegated down to, you remember we would do some of those single clap formats. We'd introduce people well, can we replicate it here? I'll just do it right here. Okay, we're going to introduce Bobby Jones. And we get one clap. And that's all we could afford. But the economy has come back. We may not be able to fund fully basic education, but we can now fund complete unlimited applause here in our community, and we should all be proud of that. So, because we only have like 5 elected officials here, as far as I know, we can give them each a spontaneous outburst of love and clapping. So, let me begin this introduction. We have Andy Miller, the prosecutor of Benton County here. We have Paul Parrish here from Kennewick. We have Judge Jerry Roach, my classmate from law school. He is here. We have Michael Killian here, who is the clerk of the Superior Court in Franklin County. Michael. And according to my notes, we have Don Britton here as well. Don? Now, this always happens, that we miss somebody, and I'm not wearing my glasses. So, if we miss somebody, they have to really make it known, and somebody needs to yell out, "It's Joe Jones." Did we miss anybody? We got them all? What a crack crew we have running. We're missing somebody? Who is that? Dan Latham, coroner. Did I get that right? Thank you for all you do. Okay, we missed just one. Did we miss anybody else? Okay, I'll take that as no. So here we go. This year's Tri-Citian of the Year is a special occasion as we are celebrating the 44th year of honoring individuals who have demonstrated outstanding volunteerism and leadership. They've contributed to the positive development and economic growth of the Mid-Columbia region and or committed to improving and enhancing the overall quality of life here in the Tri-Cities. This event is proudly brought to you through the collaborative efforts of our local service clubs, both Rotary and Kiwanis, and many volunteers as well. Can we have some applause for all of them now? We also would like to thank our sponsors. I'd like to speak first to the keynote speaker underwriter, which is the Stevens Center Management. Thank you to George Garlick and Monica Hatcher, the president. Our Ruby sponsors include Cadwell, Lourdes Health Network, and Venue Works. Can we have a round of applause for them? And our Sapphire sponsor is Battelle. And we have with us tonight the former director of the lab, Mike Cluse, and the current director of the lab, Steve Ashby. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I now move on to what follows Sapphire. Onyx, right? That's what it says here. We have Happel, Red Lion Hotels, Mission Support Alliance, Kiwanis Club of the Columbia, the Tri-City Cancer Center, one of my personal favorites, Tri-City Home Builders Association, I like them too, Columbia Basin College, you gotta like higher ed, and Trios. We would also like to thank our in-kind sponsors, the wine donations from Goose Ridge and Mercer Estates, and Charter Media, our friend in the back, who is our video historian for this evening's event. Thank you for being here, too. Also, we have our video sponsor, which is PS Media. So how do you feel about it? Do you like the unlimited applause, or do you want to go back to the finger? Unlimited? You're supposed to applaud to signal. And those of you who want to go back to the dark days of the single, just a smattering of applause. Well, thank you very much. Your dedication to service above self and building community through service is evident this past year as you have emphasized service to children and youth, both through the initiatives intended to improve the quality of life of children around the world, to seek equality, peace, and international goodwill, providing humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to help build goodwill and peace in the world with the development of effective leadership skills. Let's applaud all of you in this room right now. And with that, I'd like to call on Jeff Lemke to offer the invocation and Miss Washington Outstanding Teen Taylor Plunkett to sing our national anthem. Please remain standing after the anthem to join in a moment of silence, celebrating all of those Tri-Citians of the year who can only be with us in spirit tonight. Thank you.
Let's bow our heads. Gracious Lord, we thank you for the gift of today. We are grateful for this opportunity to celebrate this community and the leaders who help make this wonderful place a great place to live, work, and play. We ask your blessing on this gathering. Bless the food that's set before us, and we'll thank you for it. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was great. Thank you. And now a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Rob DiPiazza of the Tri-Citian of the Year Committee to present our toast to the past Tri-Citians of the Year. Please fill your glass in order to commemorate the celebration. Rob? Oh, you just brought one glass? I got it.
Mine might have been full. I'm sorry, Fran. I should have known better. All right. Everybody got their glass filled? We're going to keep this fairly simple. I'd like to toast to all of the Tri-Citians of the Year that have been with us and has served our community, but also to all of those who serve this community now and will in the future. Cheers.
Q. And now I'd like to read the names of the prior Tri-Citians of the Year who are with us here tonight. I know we said we had unlimited applause budgeting, but you've gone overboard a little bit. So I'm going to ask that we hold our applause, if we can restrain ourselves, until we get through the names. See, some people have so much trouble with that. That's why I went to the single clap format originally. But let's wait till we introduce everybody and we'll recognize them as a group. First, I have Jack Briggs. Now, what's missing on this list is there's no Wanda. So I thought I missed something. So I asked Jack, why Wanda isn't on the list. He said, well, she has a Trios board meeting tonight. I said, well, of course, that explains it. So just Jack Briggs. We then have Craig and Mary Lee Eerkes. And then there's this guy, Fran, and this beautiful woman, Debbie Forget. Okay, you can clap for Debbie. And then there's George and Carol Garlick are here. This next one is a trick introduction. Ken and Trish Hohenberg are here. But Trish is his daughter. Don't be confused. And she's great. Trish. Ron and Joan Huey are here tonight. And George Jones is here, and next to George's name was the blank. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought I saw Pat here. Again, did I miss something? It's been 12 years since I've done this. And so I went up to Pat a little sheepishly and said, what do I... She says, oh, no, we're good. So it's actually George and Pat Jones together. And then I always hate that significant other thing. It just sounds so, what is that? So my next introduction is Bill Lamson and his favorite person in the whole world, Kathy Balcom. Kathy? And then we have Dean and Helen Mitchell. And Helen's pretty groovy, too. Ray and Marilyn Robinson. I've already lost control of the crowd. Coke and Mary Roth. Dean and Sandy Strong. John and Kathy Umbarger. Robert Young. Alan Brecky. And Calvin Dudney and his fiancée, Heidi Jarrett. So shall we raise the glass to all of them one more time? And now we're serving dinner, but we'll keep the program going while they're serving so that we can get through this before tomorrow morning. Please refer to your program for a more detailed acknowledgement of all who have made this evening possible. Thank you to all in attendance for your commitment to the Mid-Columbia regions. And now, we would like to have our 2014 Tri-Citian of the Year, Craig Eerkes, join us on the stage. And Rob, you have a certain presentation to make. Rob, again, is from the Tri-Citian of the Year Committee and Artistic Portraits. He will present Craig with his own personal portrait, recognizing him as our 2014 recipient. Now, Craig's role as last year's winner is not quite done. As part of that, he's not finished until he introduces this year's winner. It is our tradition that he, as last year's winner, will have the privilege of introducing you to the new Tri-Citian of the Year. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Craig here to do his introduction.
Thank you, Fran. Marilyn and I are sitting with the Robinsons and the Mitchells tonight, and Dean and Ray were looking at the photo over there, and Dean leaned over and he said, "That's a nice photo, but ours was taken before Photoshop." I think his is Photoshop too, but thank you for that speech tonight. That was very, boy, that was amazing. We look at our lives and that was amazing compared to what we put up with. Last year's award caught me totally off guard. I was very surprised and got up here in front, similar to what our recipient will probably do tonight, and you're caught off guard and you don't know what to say. And after a year of thinking about it, and particularly today, I was in Salt Lake today for a meeting, and I said to them, I gotta get to the airport because I can't be late for this. And they said, "What is it?" And I said, "It's a Tri-Citian of the Year." And they said, "Well, gosh, what if your flight's late or canceled?" And I said, "Well, then Marilee has a script. And she's gonna," and she did. She had this backup script, and she was extremely happy when my flight landed tonight. But you're asked, what's it like to be the Tri-Citian of the Year? What is a Tri-Citian of the Year? And the answer really is, it's not about me or about our past recipients. Being the Tri-Citian of the Year is very special because it's really about us. It's what makes the Tri-Cities so special. It's about everybody in this room. It's about unselfish giving of time and money, contributions and support without anticipated recognition. That's what makes the Tri-Cities so special. We're a diverse group of really 6, Fran said 4 cities, but if you really want to be right about it, we're a diverse group of 6 cities that are all focused on supporting and promoting a special place we all call home. A lot of our business in our private business now is done outside of the Tri-Cities, but our motto remains Tri-City based and Tri-City proud. Tonight's winner fits that to a T. In fact, The winner so completely fits that it's going to be difficult to start through the hints before most of you recognize who the recipient is. Let me start with a few easy ones. These are lob shots. Our Tri-Citian of the Year is active in the American Red Cross, United Way, Boy Scouts, and Young Life. Have you picked him? No, because many of us are involved in all of those. How about supporting the chaplaincy, Tri-City Cancer Center, Tri-City Food Bank, Tri-City Union Gospel Mission, and Women Helping Women? Narrows it down a little bit. Ideas? All right, let me keep going. Our recipient is a huge supporter of the Academy of Children's Theater, Friends of Badger Mountain, Grace Clinic, and Habitat for Humanity, where the recipient donated the money to fully build 4 homes for Tri-City families. Now we're getting closer, aren't we? Okay, this might help. When local resident Nate Higgins suffered an accident that left him a paraplegic, our winner took Nate under his wing, gave him a job, motivated him to continue his education. Our winner's involvement with Nate changed the course of his life. Nate graduated from Gonzaga University and is currently at the University of Southern California attaining his MBA. Okay, now some of you have got this figured out, and this might be the clincher. Our Tri-Citian of the Year supports and has been a significant supporter of both the Cadwell Medical Foundation and Trios Hospital Foundation. And that's a little unusual. Giving tremendous time, energy, and financial support to both hospitals. In addition, when the Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences needed management and financial support, our winner contributed both in a big way. Now I'm looking out in the room and I'm seeing smiles because many of you think you've got it. Now I'm going to throw you a curve. Although you might have been thinking about one individual, there are really 2. However, they act, donate, and support as if one. All of the attributes, associations, contributions that I have just described were achieved together. They are the ultimate team. Their children describe them as movers and shakers, teachers and mentors, dreamers and doers. Their legacy is firmly rooted in the Tri-Cities and continues to grow. And Marilee and I are honored to call them our friends. Please join us in recognizing the extremely well-deserving 2015 Tri-Citians of the Year, John and Priscilla Cadwell.
No, after you. No, after you.
We don't have a script.
No, but I do, so we're in good luck. Let's see, we have a trophy up here.
What?
It's right underneath. Oh, yeah. Besides that lovely trophy obelisk, we're also presenting you from the Rotary Foundation a Paul Harris Fellow Award. And they've asked me to read a few words about that. Each year, the Tri-Citian of the Year is presented with the Paul Harris Fellowship, which is contributed by the combined Rotary clubs in your name. This fellowship represents a unique level of participation in the Rotary Foundation. When you are a Paul Harris Fellow, you are part of an endeavor assisting to make the world better through understanding and peace and a wide variety of local, national, and international humanitarian, educational, and cultural programs. Congratulations on becoming Paul Harris Fellows. Say a few words. You could like divide up your time or dedicate it to one. I'll make it available for you. Yes.
Wow. This is so over the top. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. I don't really know where to begin thanking everybody else in this room that has made this possible, but thank you. Seeing my kids? I always love to see my kids. And what's even more rewarding to me is my kids always seem to love to see me. And so... And our family is growing. The youngest member is not quite 3 weeks old, Evie, and she's the centerfold on my cell phone. And Jack here is, Jack and Bennett are my next two, and they just got back from Australia, so howdy, mate. Yeah, so... He's still on a different time zone, I understand. And my other granddaughter, and you can tell we sort of love our kids and our grandkids, and when our last one got married, the only regret we had was that we didn't have more kids because the marriages were so much fun. And our youngest granddaughter is Lorelei, who's not here. Excuse me, oldest. My mind quit working several minutes ago, so... If I had to thank anybody, and I had to single it out to one person, it's the lady who gives me 5 walnuts a day. And anybody who knows Priscilla and knows me, of which there are, it's beginning to make sense why a few people are here that normally we see under other circumstances. We see them at church and in tennis and in medical circles and all sorts of great places. They're United Way things. And anyway, so if you're here tonight, thank you. Appreciate that. But this is the young lady who has loved me, who's helped me, supported me, nursed me back to health, who has dragged me through tough times. And she's the one that I remember to say I love you to every time I send her a text message and every time I see her in person. And I think that even when I don't see her, but anybody who knows me and knows Priscilla knows that I wouldn't be here without this awesome person standing to my left. So thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Love you. Want to say something?
First, I want to thank my mother.
Yeah, I forgot a few people.
Tomorrow, we're going to think of a lot more. Yeah, we don't have a script. But I have a 95-year-old mother in Louisiana, and we were 7 kids. And I had a mother that was probably the queen of worry and a definite prayer warrior. And she used to say to us, take care of your family first, because I see so many people volunteering and their families fall apart because they haven't taken care of their family first. So, first of all, I never dreamed I would end up in the Northwest. I was from South Louisiana in a large Catholic family, and we were very close-knit, and I thought I would go home and live there the rest of my life. But then I met, the best thing that ever happened to me was meeting John Cadwell and the entire Cadwell family, who definitely became my family from the moment I met them. And his parents were the most awesome in-laws anyone could have ever had. So I had these wonderful role models, people that love the Tri-Cities. Carl and Jennifer, especially, reminding me of how much they love the Tri-Cities, and they love to water ski. And Carl and John and Jennifer and Christy and Tom and Mary, earlier on, had a love for the Tri-Cities. Now, that developed, because when my mother-in-law landed here in 1952, she said, it's a good thing that plane landed at night, or I never would have gotten off, because there was nothing there. So I look today at how far we've grown and how diversified we are, and now we have opportunities for our own children to come back and live here and work. It's truly a blessing. The more wonderful people I meet in this community, the more wonderful people I realize are out there waiting to be met. So I have been blessed by the generosity in this community, blessed by the spirit of this community. In 2004, when Hurricane Katrina hit my home state, my children will tell you I didn't cook for 4 months. It was a very tough time, but I had a call from a fellow Tri-Citian asking me to help start her Operation Katrina through United Way. A Tri-Citian came to me, the Louisianian, and said, what can we do? And that is when I realized I have been home all the time. Though my heart had been in Louisiana, I now realized my heart was here. And so the same came true this week with the outreach to the people in Nepal, when we saw local Tri-Citians who knew some of these people who are now supporting them. What a global community, and what an amazing servant's heart this community has. So we're blessed to be part of it. Totally honored and definitely surprised and humbled by this, but I hope we can live up to whatever expectations lie ahead. Thank you very much.
Well, our program is just about concluded. These folks will be here visiting, I'm sure, for a few minutes before they depart. So if you'd like to come up and visit with them off stage, there will be an opportunity to do that.
Plus Carl and Jennifer and the entire Cadwell family have invited everybody over to Cadwell Labs for a reception following, if you'd like to join them.
That sounds like a party.
And for our voice, we have a wonderful gift basket, and say thank you
Are there any walnuts in here?
There are.
All I've heard is about walnuts.
You got to dig for them.
Way in the bottom.
They're way in the bottom.
Okay. Well, listen, I think we've all had a great time here, haven't we? What an adventure. And what a great family to be recognized here with such roots here in the Tri-Cities. And they've sort of been all expansive, reaching out throughout this community and doing so many great things for the benefit of all of us. So since the applause is now unlimited, why don't we give them a big round of applause?